Welcome to New to You Fishing's Southern Workshop. It's not much, but it's home. And no, I can't really stand up. I've got not much headroom here on this attic roof line. But this is where we do all our teardowns and cleanups on the reels and repairs. You can see I've got a couple boxes on the floor of items that are in process. They may need a part or two, and we'll do a mass order on parts and get those turned around. Nice tip I learned from Dennis Kuntz up at Second Chance Tackle, who's kind of the father of reel repair on YouTube. And Dennis, makes bulk orders of things that he needs to save on shipping. Great idea. But we've got all our cleaners, our oils, our greases, Q-tips, toothbrushes, polish, all the necessary tools to make it happen. And today we're going to go into that Shakespeare Sigma 60 that we looked at as a garage sale find the other day, and see why that rotor's locked up. Hopefully we can get that freed up and get it on one of the rods and move it out. All right, let's have a look. All right, so we have a result. I ended up sparing you all the gory details. And the first sign that something wasn't quite right was I pulled the spool off. That looked okay, but when I pulled it off, I noticed that there was a lock washer under the nut for the rotor. And so here's the rotor and the nut, and the lock washer was on there. And when I pulled the nut off, it was reverse threaded, so it wasn't the normal righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It was righty-loosey. And when I pulled it off and I found that this lock washer was in there, well, the lock washer is really only, in the way it's constructed, it's only useful for righty-tighty, normal right-hand thread. So somebody's been in there, and that was a sign. So went a little further, pulled the rotor off, and as soon as I pulled the rotor off, this little guy fell out. Let's see if you can see it. Right there. Get a nice close-up. That is a ball bearing. So, knowing that this is I believe it's a 3-ball bearing reel, and when you have a ball bearing fall out, that's not a good sign. So we kept digging a little bit further, pulled the cover, pulled the rotor, pulled the main gear handle, crosswind block. Everything looks good until we got to the pinion gear. So this is the pinion gear, and there it is. There's the ball bearing cage with no ball bearings in it. No bueno. So the bottom of the inner race is right here. There it is. That's the, oops. Now these things happen. So there's the inner race, here's the outer race, and there's the cage. And I ended up finding, I don't know, half a dozen ball bearings, probably 6. This cage looks like it's supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Well, it looks like 8. 8 ball bearings, and I got 6, and they're out. They've fallen out. So, needless to say, everything else looks good. Pinion gear looks good. So, for this one to go fishing, we're going to need a bearing. So we'll go through the bag of bearings and see if we've got one that's the right size and diameter, inner diameter, outer diameter, and thickness. And if we've got one, we'll put this back together. If not, it'll go on the list of parts we need to order. Should be relatively inexpensive. All right. So that's the story. I'll pause the video now. Actually, I'll clean this whole thing up. This obviously had, I believe, the official name for it is an intrusion. So I think it got dunked. There's clearly some sand and grit in there, and everything held up reasonably well. I don't think they tried to use it too much after it got dunked, and nothing was really frozen up too much. So I think we're in good shape. We just need to get a bearing, and we'll put it all back together. So I'll stop the video now, do a nice cleanup, find out the bearing part number. Actually, I'll look for one first, and then we'll see if we can get one. We'll also clean up the spool, check the drags, and get those relubricated and get it ready to go. Okay, well, welcome back. So there it is. That's what we've been working on, that Sigma 60, and we have a little more to the story now. So I didn't have a direct bearing in my boxes of parts, so I measured up what I needed, and in case you ever need to do that, having a nice pair of vernier calipers is perfect for that. Bearings are sized based on the inner diameter of the inner race, the outer diameter of the outer race, and then the thickness. So I did get the part number from the website, and the bearing to buy a new one was $12.87. Not good. So I decided plan B, and when you measure up bearings, you just need those three numbers: inner diameter, outer diameter, and thickness. And so went on Amazon with those three figures. This was a 9/17/5, so 9mm ID, 17mm OD, 5mm thickness. And I found, instead of $12 for one on the official parts repair website for fishing parts, I got 4 of them on Amazon for $5, next day delivery, so can't beat that. So $1.25 a bearing, and that was a little more cost effective, so that's a good tip right there. However, put the bearing in, and still not having smooth enough operation. So I mentioned we had an intrusion. I thought it got dunked. There was some sand and grit in there, and the quality of the remaining gears on the crosswind block gear was obviously there was saltwater intrusion, and some of that pop metal had just corroded enough to the point where it's just not smooth enough to make it worthwhile to recover this one. So my $5 garage sale bargain was a risk, and that one failed. All right, so this one's going in the parts box along with all the other broken ones, and when we need a part, it'll be there. I really love these metal body reels, and I was really hoping to make that one go. But that's the way it goes sometimes, so be it, and we'll go on to the next one. So you win some, you lose some. This one turned out to be a loss. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll be doing another one. Maybe we'll do a successful one next, as opposed to an unsuccessful repair. Thank you much. Please like the video and subscribe if you're so inclined. Bye now.